know, there's a saying that goes, summer of change. And I can tell you this, after Payback, and especially after last night's Raw, it seems WWE is doing just that. They're going through a summer of change. And what I mean by summer of change is the fact that a lot of things are changing that we expected and we did not expect. You know, the most significant change for this summer, and it's one that we were kind of hoping for, but didn't think it was going to happen because of all the reports. But apparently, WWE has done something that they had not done or accomplished in a little over 13 years. Yeah. Well, not 13, 16 years, I should say. Yeah, 16 years. And what they accomplished for the first time in 16 years is what we call is what the business calls a double switch, a double turn. And basically what that means is you have the crowd cheering for he or she or they that should not be cheered, and booing those who should not be booed. In this case, you got Del Rio and Ziggler. And unless this is just a temporary deal and Ziggler gets the belt back and then they do a double switch again, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You know, unless they, just feel, hey, it was just the atmosphere, and guess what? We're just going to do it like this. I don't know. But if they accomplished what I think they accomplished in being the double switch, it was definitely proven last night. Because not only did you have Del Rio go kind of like back to full heel turn, but basically at the end of the night, you had storyline-wise Ziggler, who's storyline-wise not medically cleared, come out after Del Rio's walking away from his match with CM Punk, and you have Ziggler attacking Del Rio. And we're not talking, a coward attack. No, we're talking basically what is known as a babyface attack, if you know what I mean. I mean, he's basically all over the guy and, running after him. And it's like, to me, basically, what the OTRS Central crew, basically stated came true. They pulled the double switch. And to me, this is smart booking on WWE's part. Because at least somebody back there is, being the SmackDown side of things, at least somebody's acknowledging, hey, fans like Ziggler, let's have him be cheered. People are not getting behind Del Rio, let's just turn him back to a heel. Now again though, the question is, how long is this going to last? Is this going to be for the summer? Is it going to be for the rest of the year? We don't know. But then the biggest question comes around with this whole Ziggler babyface turn, if that's definitely what they've done. And it looks like they have. The biggest question is, where does this put Big E and AJ? Because we know usually when AJ is associated with babyface superstars, the babyface usually lets her down easily and says, hey, look, this is why, blah, blah, blah. And if they're going to do that with Ziggler, then probably expect a Ziggler-Big E feud, either just between themselves or for the world title. Expect that to happen. Now, again, this definitely puts Big E in a loop because they still got a plan for him and Mark Henry come SummerSlam. Because that's obviously the direction they're going in. So it looks like to me that you got Big E and Dolph Ziggler possibly separating themselves from AJ and going into a babyface direction. And either AJ going babyface herself or remaining a heel. Which, to me, I think I do agree with Brad in a way of the Brad rules. Which would definitely help that Divas division. Because they need some kind of face for that division, whether it's a heel or not heel or a babyface. They need some kind of strong representation. Now, I gotta give WWE props, because they're trying to change and make this a summer of change. But how many more changes are we gonna see? You see, that, to me, is the ultimate question. Like, how many more changes are we going to see? And no one really knows. But one of the other changes we've seen and that we expected was Paul Heyman is no longer with CM Punk, storyline-wise. And that change has obviously led to possibly CM Punk to, well, not possibly, but eventually CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, which a lot of fans have been wanting to see. And why? Because both are submission specialists. Both know how to counter. Both know how to execute submissions, especially ones that focus on the arms. Both, against the right opponents, can go in the ring, can really put on a good match. And the storyline going to be here is, what does Paul Heyman play a role in this? Did he set Punk up to get attacked by Brock? Because Punk won't say, "Hey, I am your client," and that's all. But what? Because Punk won't say, "Hey, he is a client." Or what's going on? I mean, my thought on this is, it's going to be revealed probably that Heyman had this occur. Because Heyman's not here to make friends, he's here to make money with him for himself and his clients. So it's like, if you're not a client of his, you don't want to be associated with him, you're going to pay a price. Now, I know a lot of people, especially Brad of the Brad Rules, are hoping that they go in a direction where CM Punk has to earn a shot at Brock Lesnar and maybe involve RVD. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think RVD is going to come in, and if they want to add him to the storyline, it's going to be more along the lines of RVD is going to basically, say the same thing everybody else has said about Paul Heyman, and that is, yeah, the guy can motivate you, but he's a snake in the grass. So and that too is the biggest change right there, the biggest summer change as well. The fact that, well, not just summer change, but summer surprise. So it should be titled WWE's Summer of Change and Surprises. That was the biggest surprise to me. RVD going back to WWE. But then again, some people would say you shouldn't be surprised by that due to the fact that he was at the Hall of Fame ceremony, back in April. So it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. But remember, we had no idea where he was coming from. And if you look at the Joker's Wild Tag Team Tournament one night only pay-per-view, monthly pay-per-view that they do all month, he was a part of that. And now it's going to make me wonder what TNA is going to do with the other pay-per-view or so that they have RVD in, like the Hardcore Justice, seeing as though RVD is no longer with the company. What are they going to do? Are they going to cut out his match? Just saying. What are they going to do about that? Well, I guess they already did the X Division one, but still, what are they going to do with any other one-night thing that he did? Cut it out? Because here's the thing. Here's what will happen. RVD's face being shown on there is going to cause some problems unless TNA acknowledges, does a voiceover and say, this was done before RVD signed with WWE. Then that's the only way it can be done. Otherwise, I definitely see them doing a lot of editing, or at least cutting out his match in segments. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, not much. But now the question is, what do they do with RVD? Well, a lot of people are suspecting that he might win. He might be placed into one of the Money in the Bank matches, and seen as though he might have a similar schedule to maybe a Chris Jericho, maybe a Brock Lesnar. I'd say more Chris Jericho kind of like schedule. Then I would expect maybe he'd be a strong candidate to win one of the Money in the Bank matches. And like I said, because of the schedule he would have, he would be able to cash in whenever he wants. So basically, with his limited part-time schedule, which I believe might be similar to Jericho, if you will, that you'll never know when he'll show up and cash in. Just saying. Another surprise was we finally got Christian back, and apparently he's being brought back, to be put into Money in the Bank, more presumably the world title one. So that'd be nice to see. And it seems they're switching up things between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Some people were expecting Daniel Bryan and John Cena at Money in the Bank. Instead, we're going to get Mark Henry, John Cena. And it looks like we're going to get Daniel Bryan, John Cena at SummerSlam. So that would either tell you Daniel Bryan's either got to win a number one contenders match of some kind, or he's going to win the WWE Championship Money in the Bank match, making him the second only two-time winner, or third two-time winner, or whatever you want to call it. So that would, and in Philadelphia of all places, I think that might be the right move. But then again, we'll just have to wait and see. But my thoughts basically, is the WWE, I will give them credit. Some of the things they do at times don't always make sense, but it looks like they're doing what they can to get people to tune in during the summer. The Divas division, I'll say this, the Divas segment last night was good, and the match itself was good at Payback, and if that's any indication of the future of the Divas division, it's a positive step. And if you want to involve Stephanie McMahon, just like involving Triple H in a situation, it's always good. It's always a good, choice. It's always a good direction to go in, whether you like it or not. Whether you like Stephanie or not, it's always a good direction to have your superstar or your main champion of your division feuding with one of the head honchos or princesses, if you will, in the company. And if you want to have a feud with Stephanie, as well as on the side, as well as still feud with Caitlyn and whoever else she has to defend against, that's great. And if it's going to lead to probably a fight between Stephanie and AJ down the line, that would be even better. Because we know Stephanie can become a Hellcat. There's no doubt about it. So, really, that's all I have to say about the start of WWE's summer of surprises and change. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you see any more surprises and change coming? I mean, we know the Wyatt family's coming. Who knows what they're going to bring, what changes and surprises they'll bring. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Video responses are greatly appreciated. I'll talk to you later.